Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Indiana Jones Adventure Series FIGGIE review. Today we're going to be having a look at our first figure from wave 3 of this fantastic line. None other than Jürgen Voller from the new film Dial of Destiny. Quite interesting to note the lack of mention of that on the packaging. If you want to check out or hear my thoughts about the film, as well as the other two figgies from Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, link will be up there if you want to check that out. But here we have the main antagonist of the film. First, as always, before we take a look at the figure, we're going to take a look at the packaging. As always, you've got the Indiana Jones Adventure Series logo at the top there. That CGI render of the figure itself. Notation of the build an artifact accessory. This time we're building the Grail table. Of course, you've got some nice artwork of the character just there. Name of the character as well. And I must admit, there's a slight missed opportunity there where they could have really put Schmidt in brackets. Just because in the costume he's wearing is from the bidding scene, and of course he tells Indy and everyone at the table that his name's Schmidt. But again, that's probably because while Hasbro were producing this, it's something that they might not have known at that point. So just a little detail that would have been cool nonetheless. You got the usual warnings at the bottom there, as well as a notation of the plastic packaging free. On the side, you've got that artwork running along. Indiana Jones Adventure Series at the top. Lovely artwork there of Mads Mikkelsen looking very stoic. But again, you can see the limited use of imagery to try and avoid spoilers. And then at the very bottom there, you've got the plastic packaging free notation again. On the side, you've got a picture of the Build an Artifact accessory and a rundown of the figures in this wave, as well as the Build an Artifact piece that they come with. It is interesting to note that this time round, there's 6 figures to get, rather than the standard 5 of which we've come to know. There's a ton of legal garb at the bottom there, and well on the back, again, you've got CGI render of the figure itself, name of the film the character's from, name of the character as well, build an artifact, notation, and a rundown of the accessories that the figure comes with. And at the bottom there, you've got a ton of legal garb, and the same at the bottom there as well. So that's the packaging out the way and done with. Let's take a look at the figure itself.
You. Have we met?
No?
My memory's a little fuzzy, but your face rings a bell. Are you still a Nazi?
You're confused. My name is Schmidt.
So here we have Jürgen Voller, the main antagonist of Dial of Destiny. I'm really pleased that Hasbro did give us a version of Jürgen Voller. He does have quite a few different costume changes throughout the film. This particular one, as I have mentioned, is during the hotel bid for the Artefact era. I do have to say as well, this guy gets the biggest verbal takedown from Indy.
170.
You should have stayed in New York.
170.
You should have stayed out of Poland.
And more than anything, this is quite specific, just because he only really wears the hat for like 2 shots. I'm not even joking. He literally enters with it off, puts it on as he's in the elevator, and then as he's walking out the hotel, takes it off. I know it's a very, very specific thing that I've picked up there, but let me run with it. Really weird choice on Hasbro's part. I'm guessing it's because they would have had limited concept art and things to work from, but nonetheless, it's still cool. It's still Mads Mikkelsen. That head sculpt is such a good likeness to him. I'm really, really impressed. Now, obviously, on paper, when you look at this figure, it looks pretty damn basic, and you're not wrong. It's an extremely, extremely basic figure. A lot of figures in this line are basically suited characters, and this one is no exception to that. But I really find the accessories that they gave him, while I do feel like they could have given him more, are pretty damn cool choices, if I do dare say so myself. So as you can see, if we just take a look at the actual figure, he is wearing a hat. Sadly, the hat isn't removable, and I do think that should have been a feature, or at the very least, an alternative head sculpt without the hat, but it is what it is. Again, Hasbro, probably at the time when they were working on these figures, had limited source material to work on, or work from rather. Of course, the costume is this kind of like brown looking suit. The box makes it look a lot more darker, kind of like a charcoaly black. His shirt is blue. You've got this green tie as well. Then you've got these trousers, which of course has the belt buckle. Not really a hell of a lot of detailing going on here, but of course you've got the pockets and sort of like, you know, folds and things going on there. It still looks pretty damn good. A very interesting character, I have to say. I think that's mainly through Mads Mikkelsen's portrayal of him. And I think Mark Kermode, the film reviewer, really described him quite well.
I don't know how, I don't know what it is, but he does something with his lips that looks like he's kind of siphoning bad air into his system, this kind of poisonous presence who has this menace, and it is a kind of shark-like menace. It's sort of quiet and it's floating around in the background.
A real great villain. There's some scenes where you're just like, oh, you are a piece of shit. Particularly in the hotel room, he kind of says, I think it's something like, you didn't win the war, Hitler just lost, because he is a Nazi. As we establish at the start of the film, and then later on he works on Project Paperclip, helping the US win the space race to the moon, and well, his real intention is to get his hands on the Antikythera. And I think that's what this figure is really missing, accessory-wise, because that's the main thing he's obsessed with. It would have been nice if he came with a part or the actual Antikythera itself. As I mentioned with the Indian Helena Shaw, I think they should have come with parts to build it, but this figure particularly, due to the lack of accessories that he comes with, he should have really come with the Antikythera. But if we're going to touch on actual accessories, then he does come with these glasses, which I haven't started the review off with him wearing because I thought that would be really dull. I love this feature. It's so simple. It's something you really don't get with figgies, and it was actually a thing I absolutely love about the 3 3/4 inch line of Indiana Jones figures, because when they did Indiana Jones's dad, that was one of the features that figure had. You could actually remove his glasses, and it's nice to see that they've implemented that into this line as well, and it actually works really, really well. I'm really surprised, particularly at this scale. So you can kind of get him holding his glasses like he's inspecting it as if he's just cleaned them. You know, you can kind of get him in some really studious poses, which I think is just brilliant. So yeah, it is basic, but I don't know, just I'm easily pleased with that. I'm not sure what it is. Of course, he does come with the bag as well, which he does carry around in the film quite a bit. It's where he stores the Antikythera in, and it would have been really nice if it did open up and you could actually, again, if it came with the Antikythera, the Dial of Destiny, to put it in there, but alas, it doesn't. But it does sit quite nicely around the figure, and you can get him to hold it in some nice various poses. It's quite weirdly refreshing getting something so basic, but in terms of how they've posed the hands and the detailing of removing the glasses, just how kind of like neutral and interesting poses you can get out of him. I don't know. I thought this was going to be probably the weakest figure in the line, but I actually kind of really love it nonetheless. Of course, the glasses, you can put those on his face, and they do sit quite nicely. And there you go. It doesn't look oversized. It matches really, really well. And you can see his eyes as well. There's no fogging with that. It looks fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with Hasbro on that front. And additionally as well, I can kind of forgive the lack of accessories, just because he does come with a Build an Artifact accessory in the form of this backing piece for the Grail table. This is beautiful, I have to say. It's a big chunky piece, and it really does add a lot of value for money with this particular figure. So of course you've got this kind of statue there. This thing just really sets off the Grail table beautifully. Yeah, just super, super cool, super chunky. And if I just, you know, give you a bit of a size comparison, that's quite a big bit of plastic. So anyways, moving on into articulation, he has a ball jointed head, a ball joint in the neck as well, though it's quite limited due to the tie. Does hinder it from looking fully down. He does have butterfly joints quite amazingly, which is really good. You can get even more dynamic poses from that. Ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, ball jointed wrists, a ball jointed torso, ball jointed hips, swivels at the tops of the thighs, ball jointed knees, and ball jointed ankles with the rocker joints. So pretty standard articulation. Overall though, I love this figure. I do think it would have been a lot better if it came with some more accessories, but I'm willing to overlook that because of the huge chunky build an artifact feature that it does come with. That being said though, this figure is absolutely going to be a peg warmer. Again, like with the Marcus Brody and Rennie Belloc figure review, link up there if you do want to check that out. Oh, this one's going to peg warm. I really want to tell you to go out there, rush and get it, because it's great. It's Mads Mikkelsen. It's safe to say there are a lot of other characters that we probably should have got first, but alas, I'm really happy with what we've got. I would love to see more. I'd love to see more Hasbro. But I'm really pleased at least we did get a Dial of Destiny villain in the line, particularly to go with the other two Dial of Destiny figures that we do have. This figure does look great, but it's definitely going to be a peg warmer, and I do imagine it will probably come down in price. I do highly recommend it, but I completely understand if you're going to hold out and get this deep discounted. I couldn't wait. I wanted this figgy, and also I really wanted to build up the Grail table, so it was just a no-brainer. But nonetheless, that's just me, that's my mileage. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And while this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out, and thank you very much for watching.